Okay, continuing on with Remembrance of the Cousin. I'd really like to finish this today, but I don't know if I'm going to. I only have a few of these note things left. I don't know how long it's going to take to talk about these things. It's Friday, it's the end of the second week of talking about this topic. Alright. Um, okay, so I remember the show Perfect Strangers was on. That was a show I enjoyed. I think there was a character called Balky who was a foreign guy. I'm not sure where he was from. I think that was part of the joke. Was like he was like this. He was foreign, but nobody like knew. No, he was from a made up place. I think that's what it was. I think, but he had a funny accent. Balky. But I think he was cousins. Yeah, he was living with his cousin, who was from Appleton, Wisconsin. So they were perfect strangers. Neighbors slamming their doors again. Um, I don't remember what channel it was on, but it was like I remember the commercials were. It was on Fridays, I think. Yeah. So I remember these commercials for TGIF. So it must have been on a Friday. Yeah, I think this Perfect Stranger show was involved in this promotion on this channel for TGIF. So Perfect Strangers was on TV one night, and my dad got a phone call. And so he was in the kitchen, and then he told me that my cousin had died. And I remember I didn't give much of a reaction. And my dad was talking to someone on the phone. I'm not sure who. And they must have asked how I was taking it about the news of my cousin dying. And my dad said that it hadn't hit me yet. Since I didn't give much of a reaction. I didn't give this huge dramatic reaction. I didn't run away crying or anything. So I had this might sound strange, but I had this kind of thing where like I didn't want to give the obvious reaction because I felt it was just like fake, or maybe it comes from watching too much uh, television, but like just like not giving the expected reaction. I had this weird thought about I didn't want to give the expected reaction for things. So that was what I was thinking at the time. I didn't want to give the expected reaction. But also thinking back on it, it must have been because I wasn't talking to my cousin at the time, so we had drifted away from each other. So it makes sense that I didn't give much of a reaction since we weren't communicating at the time. And that was because of what had happened, what happened at Lake Village and how I was dwelling on it, and then I accused my cousin of trying to kill me, which he was not trying to kill me. That was just my overreaction uh, of a interpretation of, from my perspective, being feeling like I was in danger because I couldn't swim, and I was already being risky by being out in the deep water on the inflatable raft, and I felt my cousin was putting me even more danger by being standing up on the raft and shaking the raft, and I felt like he was intentionally scaring me and he wanted me to fall in the deep water. That's what I was thinking at the time. So I was just looking at it from my perspective. I wasn't looking at it from his perspective, that he was just having fun and maybe he didn't mind. There might have been some kind of, at the most, he might have thought it was funny that I was being scared a little bit. Well, from my perspective, I was being scared a lot. But when he saw that I was scared because I was begging with him on the verge of tears, he sat back down on the raft. So he was obviously not trying to kill me. But since I made this accusation to him, his feelings must have been hurt or he was angry, so we didn't speak to each other after that. And then I think it was several months later, then he died. So at the time that when I hear the news that my cousin died, we were not speaking to each other. So that's might be part of the reason why I didn't give much of a reaction, because it's a awkward, difficult position to be in when someone you're angry with, especially if it's someone you're related to, but like even if it's like a friend, if it's someone you're like, if you're angry with at the time and then they die, when normally when someone dies, if it's like someone that you're close to or someone you're related to, like you would normally give like you would normally give a reaction where you'd be very upset. So especially if you're close to someone, it's expected that you would give you give a reaction where you're upset about it. But if you're not speaking to that person at the time, eh, it's an awkward position to be in. Because then you got to think about, was it really that important? Why I was angry at this person? That's no longer alive. Um, so that's so I feel bad about what I said, and I wondered. So it was like it was something I could have fixed, but I was too immature and I felt I was too traumatized at the time to make things right with my cousin. I remember even like I don't see it on my notes here. It should have been on my notes. But I remember even thinking like I was thinking about my cousin before he died, like maybe like a couple months before he died. I was thinking, hey, it'd be kind of nice to hang out with my cousin, and so I was thinking about like calling him and seeing if he wanted to hang out. But so I was thinking about him a couple months before he died, but I don't know why I didn't make that call. I guess I just got distracted with other things going on, like just doing things with friends or distracted with school or video games. So I should have called him. And then I probably would have given more of a reaction if I was actually talking to him at the time. But something else I was going to say, but I don't see it on my notes. I was just thinking about it.